Engine swap the 190, finish the 190, don't buy another car before you fix the 190, keep doing the 190, don't buy another car. I got the message, okay? Don't worry. Let's do this. Today is a very exciting day for everybody that loves my 190E. We're gonna pick up another engine, another transmission, and a pedal box. And we happen to be getting another 190E in this deal. So, we're on the way to Vancouver today to go load up Jet's truck with a U-Haul trailer. We're gonna get the 190 from the shop that it's at. We're gonna get the other parts from the shop that they're at. And then I'm gonna explain sort of what the plan is and how this came to be. Fortunately, when we got to U-Haul the next morning, they had no trailers available. So what we're gonna have to do now is wait until Sunday when they have one available. Thankfully, I do YouTube for a living, so I'm gonna make the most of it. And we're gonna go and film some interviews with people that have some interesting cars. But I wanna explain what my plan is with the 190 sort of that I'm getting, the engine, the parts. So, the engine that I'm getting is an M104. The transmission is a 6-speed manual out of a Mercedes SLK. A pedal box, I don't actually know where that came from. And then another 190E that came from Japan. It's black, rust-free, tan interior. However, the engine is seized, is a 2.6 automatic. Now, I have a 2.3, so my car's a 4-cylinder. This is a 2.6, so it has the inline 6, which has a different engine bay. The engine that I'm getting, the M104, is an inline 6 from a Mercedes E-Class. Now, it's easier to fit an inline 6 in a car that originally came with an inline 6. So my thought is, maybe I should swap all the parts I'm getting into the black car, make that run, drive, everything good, and once that's done, take my blue car and basically swap the entire body and interior into the black car. Or I could just swap the blue car. I'd have to just buy from RPM Depot a different sort of front brace, I guess, and then cut the old one out, weld that one in. But my car is not perfect. There's quite a few things wrong with it. What do you think, Jack?
I think it's better to go with a new Japanese shell because yours is rusty. I feel it needs a lot more love. Weld the new core supports. It's not hard, but definitely a job.
Welding the new core support is a lot of work, but also swapping the entire cosmetic part, like the fenders, the bumpers, all that. The only big thing we gotta do is cut the rear arches. But all of this depends on the condition of the new 190. We finally have the trailer 2 days later. We have made it to Trick Factory Customs, and the engine, no, not in this one, it's this one, is just inside here. And I also saw another 190E in there that was a Cosworth, so let's go check that out. Now, before I show you the new car and the engine, you might be wondering how this all came about. A few months ago, I went to Trick Factory Customs. These guys V8 swapped a 190 Evo II, which they're now building active aero for, and they specialize in 190s across Canada. While I was on their podcast, we were discussing what I should do with my current engine setup, and they mentioned that they had an M104, another 190, a trans, and everything else I would need to swap my car. Here we go. Now, we just gotta figure out how to get this out in Calgary.
I think that's TJ. Find out.
No, thankfully,
I'll supervise.
you can't leave until, because it's in your truck.
Or maybe I got a new motor for
Nah.
$3.99.
Yeah, or you gotta get it out then at your house. It's just the same problem.
But I know someone with a forklift.
Then why don't we just bring it to where we're unloading it?
Because that's so far and it's electric. How are you going to drive an electric forklift half an hour?
We put it on the U-Haul trailer.
Okay, anyways.
Now we won't be slow anymore. Thanks to the guys at Trick Factory who came to help us even when the shop was closed. Now we've got the engine and the trans. And we need the pedal box, the shifter, and the car.
You get that stuff.
There's the pedals.
Yep.
And then this is the shifter.
So this is the more newer version.
Mm-hmm.
The earlier version of the shifter for that engine or that transmission was fucked up. It's all this little linkage and all. This one just directly mounts onto the tranny almost and shifts right. Like it's a much better system. I think from 05, 06 later they use this shifter, whereas the 02 to 03, 04 they use more of this linkage things off. It's
okay.
It's ugly. So
all right.
but this is the way to go on that.
Now we got to get the car on the trailer. Is this a 92? 190?
89.
89. It's got the sport trim on
It says
it.
sport line on there, but it says sport line back here. That's not the proper badging.
Yeah, I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's hot in here.
Should have, yeah. Okay. I hope so.
Yeah, we hope.
Good.
Look at that.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Thing's so long. Look how green it is. Then we had the car on the trailer and we were ready to go back to Calgary and see what Torrin, the man to do the swap, who was a certified Mercedes tech for years, thinks of everything I've got. But not before it was time to figure out how we're going to unload this engine with no tools.
Too short. We can double up.
We're going to strap it down, then hopefully we can all lift it and put it on this pallet.
I think we're just gonna lift. You drive forward, and
I think that's fine.
go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Quickly?
Quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Vámonos, amigo.
Thank you.
And then just watch toes. TJ, watch toes.
It might fall off. Oh,
No, we've got it on.
No,
Wow, guys. Whoa, TJ.
Yeah. And then we can just slide this under.
I was a lot more stressed about that. That was actually pretty good. All right, it's a few days later and Torrin is back to check out the car and the engine and all the parts I've got to see if I've got enough to fix either this car or that car. We'll kind of talk about what we're going to do because I don't know what the best course of action is. What do you think initially of this black one?
It's definitely a daily driver.
Yeah.
We'll see how bad it gets once we get into it, but
I just wonder
so far,
how
so
bad
good.
this engine is. Because
Oh,
they said it
boy.
was seized, but I wonder if it's like fixable or if it really is just gone. So I got 2 keys with
Sweet.
this one. It's an
Look at
upgrade.
That one looks like it's somewhat new.
Yeah.
I can tell by that.
And I got an antenna, which I've not seen on any 190s that I've looked at that I can remember.
Weird. Look at those floor mats.
Yeah, those Mercedes MBZ.
No, those are aftermarket, but that's kind of funny.
Pretty clean interior.
That's
Got the
bad.
power seats, right?
That's a cool option.
Yeah. I actually haven't even opened this.
Got an AMG cap. Cool.
Yeah. So apparently took it to a mechanic and they said that the engine was seized, it wouldn't turn over. So who knows what's actually wrong with it.
Like ground cables everywhere. I don't know if I trust that. Do you need pliers or something? Yeah, that'd be good. Appreciate it, Vix.
It's amazing, like the paint looks pretty good. It's very glossy still.
Yeah.
Looks straight and nice to see one that does not rusted through everywhere. But there is some, I don't know if that's just, oh, that's just, this fell off. Well, that was poo for a second.
Grab it with me, please.
Have to go from the. Yeah, that might do it. Awesome.
There we go.
Doesn't look like there's any oil in there.
Pretty gross in there. Let's see if I can get a good picture.
Yeah.
So that's not great.
No.
It's probably a head gasket that leaked coolant in it. Cause like that looks pretty empty too. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much empty.
Yeah. That's not it's not engine related, so we're good there.
Which one do you think's better, the 6-cylinder or the 4-cylinder?
They're basically the same.
Just
This
two.
is more fun.
'Cause
It's
it's
got a much higher output, but they still have exactly the same problems.
Apparently this engine came from Arizona. It's a 96 E320. The trans is from a C230. Unfortunately, they did cut the computer. So we do have this, but I don't know if it's helpful. He told them not to cut it out at the junkyard and they missed his communication and cut it out.
Nice.
which he was not happy about.
Yeah, we will have to probably find the car side. Really?
What?
Crank position sensor and stuff too. That's not good. Yeah, they really cut it out. New power steering. Wow.
They just chopped it.
No kidding.
What do you think of this engine? Did I get scammed?
If we could find a starter, we would be able to probably see if it runs as it sits. I just have to see if we can find this plug here so I can wire it up.
Hmm. I mean, there's not much to tell, right? Just sitting here.
Injector harness and everything got cut, so that's not great. I'll have to see where that goes. There's the fuel line. Yeah, this is
Chopped up.
yeah, that's unfortunate. At least we got that part.
Are these engines hard to find?
Kind of, because they never really fail. I haven't seen too many of them. All the cars that I've worked on, they just need spark plugs and oil changes.
Luckily, we don't need the engine, though. We just need, like, bits of it.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we could find another car that we could pull all this out of.
So then this is just useless? Or do you mean a car that doesn't run?
A car that's not running, that we can pull the harness and a bunch of the other bits and pieces we need out of it.
The engine that I bought, right, is an inline 6. It's easier to fit it in this car than that car.
Yes, so this whole rad support here, all of this is different to accommodate the extra length in the motor.
So I've heard is that you can buy the part from RPM Depot and then just cut mine out, weld the new one in, and then the engine will go in just the same, like the firewall's not different.
It shouldn't be, no, but it is more work.
How much more work? Because the question is kind of, is it more work to cut that front and weld that in? And while we're doing that, or Jason could fix, he thinks he can fix this wheel situation pretty easy versus just swapping the entire kit and the interior from that.
Depends on how much work it is to straighten that car. If we have to cut the whole front of the car out, it could be even more work.
I have to decide if I want to cut my blue car up in the front so we can fit the M104 in, or if we want to put it in the black car and then risk breaking the kit when we take it off the blue one to install.